Hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome to Spiritual Bloom, where we bloom within our consciousness, with your spiritual guide and twin flame coach, Neha. In today's episode, we will be talking about the new earth. Yes, what does it really mean in spirituality? As we all know that we all are shifting towards the new earth. So let's understand, what does the term New Earth really mean? So what if I tell you that the world isn't ending? What if humanity is not heading towards destruction, but towards a profound transformation? For centuries, spiritual traditions, mystics, prophets, and enlightened teachers have spoken about a coming shift. A new way of being, a new consciousness, that is, a new earth. But what exactly is the new earth? Is it a physical place, a future civilization, a spiritual awakening, or is it something that is already happening right now? The idea of new earth is not new, though the term might be very new for many people, and it is quite trending nowadays, especially in spirituality. Many people are talking about shifting towards the new earth. In fact, it is a version of this concept appears throughout many spiritual traditions and religion. So, in Christianity, the book of Revelation speaks of a new heaven and a new earth. Ancient Hindu teachings, they describe cycles of consciousness and the transition from darker ages into more enlightened ones. Buddhist traditions, they speak of collective awakening and liberation from suffering. Similarly, indigenous cultures around the world have long predicted a time when humanity would remember its connection to nature and spirit. Despite their differences, these traditions point towards a similar idea, and that idea is humanity is evolving, not merely technologically, socially, but spiritually. The new earth is often described as a higher state of consciousness. And that higher state of consciousness is such a place where fear, separation, ego no longer dominates human experiences. It simply represents a shift from unconscious living to conscious living, from conflicted mind to harmony, and from division to unity. Now let's understand that since we all are talking about the new earth, what is the difference between the old earth and the new earth? So, to understand the new earth, we first need to know that what many spiritual teachers called the old earth. Now let me tell you here that the old earth isn't necessarily the physical planet. It is not a place, but it is a state of consciousness. Awakened consciousness, aware consciousness, and a way of perceiving reality. Now, the old earth, it is characterized by what? The old earth is characterized by fear among people, competition, ego-driven identity, material obsession, money hungry, status hungry, separation, trying to control a situation, chronic stress for no reason, and unconscious behavior or behavior rooting from lower vibration. In this state, people often define themselves through external labels And these external labels are, for example, my status, my possessions, my beliefs, my achievements, and my tribe. So the ego becomes the center of identity. I, me, myself. As a result, conflict naturally emerges. Individuals, they battle individuals. Groups, they battle groups, which is happening. Nations battle nations, which is actually happening. Wars are taking place. Individuals are battling with another individuals, insecurities, lack of confidence, jealousy. Groups are battling groups, let it be a religious group. So the new earth, it represents the opposite movement of the old earth. It is not about abandoning your individuality. Rather, it is about remembering our deeper interconnectedness that our ancestors had. They were connected to nature. They were connected to people. They had good relationships. Nowadays, we rarely see that. We rarely have any good relationship with our neighbors. We rarely have any good relationship with our relatives or people around us. But those people, they were conscious, aware, and had interconnectedness. Now, the new earth consciousness is characterized by what? I've already told you, the old earth is characterized by fear and other things. Now let's understand that how does the new earth consciousness is characterized. It is characterized by compassion, kindness, unity, authenticity, being in your authentic self, inner peace, prioritizing your inner peace, spiritual awareness, cooperation, and love. That's why so many people are being awakened. If you have noticed, many people are being awakened. They are walking in the path of spirituality nowadays, because those souls are moving from lower consciousness, from another consciousness, to higher consciousness. That's why they have been awakened. They have been awakened so that they can move towards the new earth. The greater awakening of consciousness is that, the main idea surrounding the new earth is collective awakening. That's what I told you. Many people are being awakened. Some are being awakened normally, and some, those who are stubborn, ego driven, they are having a rude awakening. Many spiritual teachers believe humanity is currently experiencing a massive shift in consciousness, which is true. We see evidence of this everywhere, because more people are questioning the old system, the old beliefs. More people are seeking meaning beyond material success. They are not happy with their status. They are not happy with the car, the money, the house that they have. And they are seeking meaning beyond that. That why am I not satisfied though I am so successful in my life? Why am I not satisfied when I have worked so hard to reach here? Today I have achieved everything, yet I am so unhappy. It feels like there is a missing piece in my heart, in my soul. That is what it is happening right now. And why it is happening? It is happening because the universe wants them to shift from the lower consciousness to a higher consciousness. And those souls which are moving from the lower consciousness to the higher consciousness will be moving towards the new earth. Meditation, mindfulness, energy healing, yoga, spiritual exploration have become increasingly mainstream. People are asking deeper questions. Who am I? Why am I here? What is consciousness? What is spiritual awakening? What is my purpose? So this awakening that is happening, it often begins through personal challenges like any other awakening. Like a painful breakup, health crisis, a loss, death, period of depression, existential crisis. Moments that shatter all identities often create space for deeper awareness. Many spiritual traditions teach that awakening isn't about becoming something new. It's about remembering who we truly are beneath the condition. We need to remember who we are. We need to remove the masks that we have been carrying for so long. Because the new earth begins with each awakened individual. And the ones who are being awakened are the ones who will be moving towards the new earth. One of the greatest obstacles, in this new earth transition is the ego, just like in any other spiritual awakening. Now, spirituality does not claim that ego is evil. The ego serves practical purposes. It helps us navigate everyday's life. The problem occurs when we mistake the ego for our entire identity. Because the ego constantly seeks validation. Never make ego your entire identity. And that is the only obstacle which is making a person stuck from not evolving, from not transitioning. Because ego compares, competes, judges, fears, and defends. It creates the illusion of separation. But as we all know, spiritual awakening reveals a deeper dimension of ourselves. A dimension which we need to discover through our awakening. The spiritual awakening and the deeper dimension of ourselves means that a presence that exists beyond thoughts and labels. We have to go through many transformations. Then only you will get all the answers as to who you are. Why were you here? What is your purpose? When people begin identifying with this deeper awareness, something remarkable happens. What happens? Fear loses its grip. Ego loses its grip. Compassion naturally emerges. Life becomes less about proving oneself and more about expressing one's true nature. So this transformation is a cornerstone of the new earth. So now let's understand the role of love in the new earth. Many people hear spiritual teachings about love and assume they refer to emotion. But in deeper spirituality, love is much more than just a feeling. Love is often described as the recognition of unity. When you recognize yourself in others, compassion naturally arises. Because love becomes a state of being, a way of relating to life. So the new earth is frequently described as a civilization built upon this awareness. It is not perfection, it is not utopia, but a world where decisions emerge from greater consciousness rather than fear and comparison. And because of this greater consciousness in New Earth, this would transform many relationships, education, healthcare, economics, leadership control in countries, and environmental stewardship. The shift begins when individuals embody these values in their own life. Now let me tell you that one of the biggest misconception is that the new earth is a separate physical location. Many people, they think that when we talk about the new earth, many expect a dramatic event where humanity suddenly moves to another dimension or magical realm. While different spiritual traditions interpret this differently, many modern teachers emphasize something important. That is, the new earth is primarily a shift in consciousness. It is not a shift in physical realm or physical location. It is the same planet, same sky, same sun, and same humanity, but experienced through a profoundly transformed awareness. Just imagine two people standing in the same place. One sees only fear, conflict, and scarcity. The other sees opportunity, growth, connection, and meaning. The external world may appear similar, yet the experience of reality is entirely different. The new earth begins as an inner transformation before it becomes an outer one. That's why there are so many rude awakenings going on in today's time. People are awakening. They're questioning themselves, their identity, their purpose. They want to grow beyond, they want to understand their soul, they want to grow beyond this physical, material world. They are becoming more aware, because the transformation of the new earth is not just the surrounding or the environment, or you're shifting from one planet to another planet. No. It is simply about understanding your soul, your purpose, working on yourself, because when the inner transformation begins, then only you can see the changes in your outer world. And that is what the new earth is all about. Now let's understand that how do we know that the shift is already happening? Like what I told you, one is that people are getting rude awakenings. People are awakening massively. Now some of the signs, let me just tell you. Many people are having a growing interest in spirituality. Whenever you open YouTube, I think you must be seeing so many tarot card readers, people on podcasts talking about spirituality, health. Many religious celebrities are coming on the podcasts. People are becoming more connected to the divine, to the universe. Another thing is greater awareness of mental health. People are so concerned about their mental health, mental well-being, having a peaceful life. Increased concern for environmental sustainability. People are planting trees. They are scared. They are saving fuel. They are saving things, saving water. They are becoming more conscious, more aware. Global connectivity is increasing. The questioning of outdated systems, that why this had been carrying on for so long. The rise of mindfulness and conscious living. Many people, they are following mindfulness and conscious living nowadays. They're taking care of their health, their soul. A desire for authentic relationships. That's why many relationships do not last nowadays. Let it be marriage, let it be a normal relationship. It does not last because one person is seeking beyond the material world. That is, he or she is seeking answers that his soul is asking. And when that answers, they cannot find those answers, and they come into a relationship with a person who does not question his or her soul at all, who is not keen and aware about all these things. So they clash. And that is how relationships don't last, because one is too aware while the other one is asleep. A search for purpose beyond material success. Like I told you, people are so successful, yet they feel a void in their soul. Of course, we also witness turmoil like conflict, polarization, uncertainty during, when this transition is taking place. Yet many spiritual perspectives suggest that period of chaos often precede transformation. When old structures can no longer support evolving consciousness, they begin to crack. And that is what it is happening. The government, the nation, the countries, they are having war. The economic system is changing. Education system is changing. Why? Because These old structures have survived for a very long time, and now it is the time for change. Because people are questioning, people are aware, and they will no longer support such old structures which are baseless. That's why they're beginning to crack. They are having tower moments, and this can feel uncomfortable. But it may also signal the birth of something new, and that something new is higher consciousness and the new earth. Now let us talk about, if we transition or if we go into a higher consciousness, reach that higher consciousness by awakening, by going through difficult cycles. You must be wondering that what is your role in the new earth? What is our role in the new earth? Now the most important question is not that when will the new earth arrive. The real question is how can I embody it now? Every act of awareness contributes to the collective field of consciousness, and every moment of kindness matters. Every act of forgiveness matters. Every choice that you make from love instead of fear, that matters. Here technically what I'm saying is you don't have to become a guru, or you don't need to retreat to a mountain, or you don't need any special powers. The new earth emerges through ordinary people choosing extraordinary awareness. By being more aware, by being present, by healing unresolved wounds, by treating others with kindness and compassion, by living authentically without any comparison or jealousy, by recognizing the sacredness of life, that how precious your life is and for what purpose your soul has come into this earth to fulfill its mission. So the transformation of the world begins with the transformation of the self. Here also it's the same, like I've been telling you in all the videos. Until and unless you don't have that realization, that awareness, that where you are heading or where your soul is heading, physically and internally, no one can bring transformation in your life. No one can awaken you. It's your duty. So when you get a little bit of hint that you are being awakened, or so much hardships are coming into your life, that's because the universe wants you to shift your consciousness to be a part, to be a contribution to the new earth. Perhaps the new earth is not a distant future. It is not a prophecy waiting to be fulfilled. It is a choice available in every moment. A choice that only you can make. A choice between fear and awareness, between separation and connection, and between unconsciousness and presence. The new earth may not arrive with fireworks in the sky, but it will emerge quietly. Through millions of individuals awakening to their true nature, through act of compassion, conscious choices, recognition that we are far more connected than we ever imagined. And if that is true, then the new earth is not something we wait for. It is something that we create together by being aware, by being alert, by following our soul, by transitioning from the old you, old identity to a higher frequency and higher consciousness. So, if you like this video on New Earth and its significance in spirituality, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. I provide guidance and counseling. You can contact me through WhatsApp or email. My contact details have been given in the description box. Before booking any counseling and guidance sessions, I provide 10 to 15 minutes demo session. I thank you all for listening to me, for tuning in. I'll see you again in another episode.